Perfect. Just got into preset mode and I'm
Okay.
dying for this one. A Noob's Guide to VirtualBox.
Yes, it is. All right. So, how's it going, everyone? Richard Scott here. Today, we're going to go over this new guide to VirtualBox. We're going to start off with who am I? Let you know a little bit about me, you know who I am and how I joined into the IT community. After that, we're going to talk about virtualization, what it is, and how can we use it. There's many types of virtualization, different software to use if you want to be able to do virtualization, but we'll focus on VirtualBox. After that, we'll take a look at what it takes to set it up. A bit easier than most would expect. Give you a couple short, easy tips. After that, we'll do a VirtualBox demonstration where we'll travel to the site, download it, and install it on a Windows 10 computer. And once we get VirtualBox set up and installed, I'll show you how to install a Linux distribution on VirtualBox, Kali. After that, we'll finish it off with some useful tips and tricks. So, with no further ado,
Doing okay, Richard?
can you
Lost
hear
you for
me?
a second there.
Can you hear me?
Yep, got you now.
Awesome. My username at Twitter is at RichardJScott16. Feel free to reach out to me. My DMs are always open. Always looking forward to connecting with like minds within the community. 33 years old. I have a love of IT. I honestly got into cybersecurity field because my background's in social media marketing and management. And I had a client ask me one time, well, Richard, how do I secure my site? And I said, well, that's an excellent question. And I didn't know the answers to give him. So that made me start looking and led me to where I am today. On this slide, we'll see a couple of pictures of me. We got me bowling. I love to do it, although I'm not very good. Quite often, if you give me the chance, I'll make sure they have the little bumpers on the side, so I'm guaranteed to get some pins knocked down. Got a picture of me out horseback riding. I love the ride, but this picture is especially important to me because this was taken right after a horse decided to take off running. And the instructor was there, and she was kind of freaking out. I was able to get it under control, right? The situation that reminds me that whenever things get hectic, just keep a level head and it'll be all right. We got another picture of me up here in the upper right-hand corner reading one of my favorite books, which is John Green's 48 Laws of Power. Did I just say John Green? Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. And lastly, we got a picture of me at an impromptu magic show. My friends had gotten me to go up. I did. They said, if you go, I'll go. And needless to say, they didn't. And this picture was taken right before the guy standing to my left was going to chop my head off, believe it or not.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I'm glad you put it back on.
Right. So I wouldn't be here today. But I'm basically doing this right here just to, start making connections within the IT community. That's why I said once again, my DMs are always open. I'm interested in learning more and job opportunities that are available for someone of my experience. Okay, so now we're moving on to what is virtualization? That refers to the act of creating a virtual version of something, including virtual computer, hardware platforms, storage devices, and commuter networks. That's all from Wikipedia. So what it boils down to is it allows you to have a copy of a computer or server without actually having to have a physical one. But I don't want to spoil the next slide, so we'll continue. So, okay, Richard, you told me what virtualization is, but why would I want it? Well, if you have virtualization enabled on your PC, then you can run multiple operating systems. Maybe you have Windows 10, but you want to try out the Linux. You can do that. Maybe you have Mac and want to run Windows. You can do that. No more bulky hardware, Tango cable. For virtualization, the only way you can have multiple operating systems was have multiple computers and connect those all up over internet, especially at that time, incredibly difficult and time consuming. Another good reason to have virtualization is cheaper than buying multiple computers. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't have a few $1,000s lying around for me to buy the new Mac, a computer to put Linux on. I don't have that. But this is a lovely and cheap alternative in doing that. Last is great practice. You can have, as I stated before, a Windows computer running Linux. Or let's say you want to try out that new gaming Linux distribution, Jogger OS. There are multiple different virtualization software tools out there, but this presentation is going to focus on VirtualBox. Another one that comes to mind is, what is that? I'll come back to that. We've got Windows versus Mac. If you have Windows and you want to find out, well, how do I see if I have this on my computer? It's quite simple. Go down to the start, and that search bar is going to pull up command prompt. We want to make sure we're running as administrator, and we're going to type in systeminfo.exe. We're going to want to wait a few seconds because it's going to take some time for it to be able to pull up everything. Once we do that, we'll scroll down and look at the results. If you see that virtualization enabled in the firmware, then you know you've got it. With Mac, we'll run this same command, wait a few seconds, and it's going to give you some results printed out. You want to look down towards the bottom. It should be in the last row, and you want to look for VMX. If you see VMX, then you know that your computer supports virtualization. Okay, so now we know what virtualization is. How can I download something? Well, we'll use VirtualBox as our virtual environment, and you can do that by visiting virtualbox.org. You don't want to put in virtualbox.com, because if you'll do, you'll run into a domain for sale for about $600. So virtualbox.org. We'll go to the page, see this blue icon right here, download VirtualBox 6.10. I believe the newest update is 6.10.10. We'll choose the package for our PC and we'll download. the next slide, we'll see. Here's exactly how to do that.
I'm
Now,
sorry, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
it's not coming through.
Oh, now you're back. Yep.
Okay.
We lost it for just a
There.
second. Your video is still frozen. There we go. We're getting back.
Okay. I'm going to have to, looks like I'm going to have to pull that up and just play it.
Let's see. So we're still on the downloading VirtualBox slide. Is that where you intend to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here.
Good deal. We'll have patience. We realize you're working out of a hole already, so appreciate you working with it.
Appreciate you bearing with me here. I've been able to pull it up now. We just got to give it a second for the video to load. But
okay.
While we're waiting, I would like to point out that it's important. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
So you see, pull up virtualbox.com. This domain's for sale. I said 600. Oh, it's 66,000 for that domain. Don't want to pay that. So go ahead, pull up VirtualBox. I ran a search so that way you can see that it's the legitimate site, virtualbox.org. You can see that it's ran on Linux, Windows, Macintosh, Solaris. So we'll click on that big blue button. We'll figure out which platform that we need. I'm installing this on the Windows 10 host, so that's what I click on. Another thing, since I'm downloading this for Windows and I want to be able to have everything work with it, I also make sure to download the extension pack. Now, if you don't download the extension pack, you'll find yourself having incredible difficulty in regards to using any sort of USB or anything like that. So that's why that's important. So we download VirtualBox. We also make sure after we download VirtualBox, we download the companion with that. Now we've got VirtualBox downloaded. We want to download Kali Linux. And Kali Linux is a Linux distribution. That's all it is. A lot of people, when they think of hacking, they think of Kali Linux. But it's not just for that, right? So there's two ways for us to be able to download this. One, you can download the ISO from kali.org/download, and you can install that as you would any other distribution. You just follow the steps, selecting English, et cetera. Or since we're doing it on VirtualBox, they've made it an easier way, and that is into security right here at the bottom, and we'll download the VirtualBox image. And that image we would then import. We're going to check that out here. So kali.org/download. We'll scroll down. We can see that they have the 64-bit installer or the live version. Now, installer is if you want something with persistence, but maybe whatever it is that you're needing to do is something quick. You don't care about persistent. You can go ahead and download the live version, which is basically plug and play. You don't have to worry about anything once you get that set up. But like I stated, we need VirtualBox. So we're going to go here to the security page, scroll down, look for a VirtualBox image. There we go right there, the 64-bit. I'm going to go ahead and download that. OVA format. And that's how you download it. real simple, real easy. They're different individuals have different takes on it. Myself personally, I like downloading the ISO and doing it that way. It's great practice for you to be able to see, okay, this is how I do this, how I do that. So when it's time for you to install something else, you can. All right. So now, continuing on with that installation, if we're doing the OVA file, which comes from VirtualBox for the offensive security page, we'd open VirtualBox, click File, Import Appliance, press Enter, wait till it completes, and it's ready to go. If, however, you went to Kali.org, open up VirtualBox, set that up, you click on Machine, New, type in a name. Now, this is very important. When it asks for the appropriate type and version, make sure you choose Linux. The version is what type of Linux that is. And in this case, it would be Debian. Then go through, allocate memory and hard disk space, click Create, and it's just that fast. Just that easy. Now, once you get Kali up and running, if you imported an appliance like we did, then the username and super secret password are both Kali lowercase. So we'll pull that up, we'll hit enter, we'll get it going, it'll pop up on our screen. Once we do that, the first thing we want to do is open up the command line, type in these commands that are listed on your screen. The reason for doing so is to ensure that our version is the newest one. But instead of reading these off to you, we'll go ahead and check out this video where we did just that. One of the things I do like about this, especially using VirtualBox to do it, is that it makes it to where mistakes aren't as bad as they would be if you were using, let's say, dual boot. Because when I first started working with various distributions, I was doing it via dual boot, and that was terrible. They just like that. It wouldn't work. I'm spending hours on Stack Overflow. I'm frustrated. And instead, this is so simple. You set it, run into an issue, that's fine. Just either revert back to an older save or simply reinstall it without any lasting harm coming to your PC. Okay. Another great thing about Kali is that you have the ability to use Tor. And Tor is something that people use for anonymity sake. It's a really great tool when used properly. And that's what we're going to get into next. If the slide will work with us. Tor. It aims to conceal its users' identity and their online activity from surveillance and traffic analysis by separating identification and routing. It is an implementation of onion routing, which encrypts and then randomly bounces communication to a network of relays run by volunteers around the globe. If you guys watch any of the newer series or are familiar with Mr. Robot, you see him on some of his shows, be able to communicate with people in private. That's what this is. Tor. So, to recap, virtualization, it lets you grow your confidence. You don't have to worry about, again, am I doing this right? Because if you mess up, do it over. It can be done on whatever operating system you're running. It doesn't matter. We've seen on the VirtualBox video how they had a package for any distribution. It's cheaper, less hassle. Update, and upgrade to ensure that there will be no errors once you have your distribution on there. Another thing that's important, definitely download and trusted sources, because you will always be able to find something out there where people are trying to push something and they may have a malicious following. We don't want that. Trusted sources allows us to cut through that path. And of course, store for added privacy. Knowing it's not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. This is a quote by Bruce Lee, and I enjoy it and added it here just to show how I feel. Like, we must constantly strive for knowledge, but knowing isn't enough. Apply that. Utilizing VirtualBox. If you've never tried Black Arts or Ubuntu, put that on there. Bump your head. Struggle. But in that struggle comes growth. No one learns something overnight. Don't be afraid to play around. That's the beauty of VirtualBox. You can always hit reset. And that's it. You don't have to worry. Because if at some point you run into something that you cannot no way figure out, Googled it, YouTube it, you looked at the forums, you asked the question, can't figure it out, completely fine. Hit reset and try it out again with no lasting. Don't be afraid to try new things. This is the new Kali Linux 6.10. It's just amazing. And for someone first starting out, this might seem like too much, but it's not. So I implore you, if you haven't tried it yet, definitely take this opportunity, download it, give it a try. Might surprise yourself. I only have Windows on this computer because it's a work computer, but my regular computer, I use Linux Mint. Okay, I thank you guys for listening. Again, my name is Richard Scott. If you want to, follow me on Twitter at RichardJScott16. Also, like to thank my mentor, Franklin. If you want to follow him, find him on Twitter at The Devil Sports. Also, would like to thank Bryson Bort and Grim for the opportunity to speak today. And most of all, thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Richard. Really appreciate you overcoming the adversity today and coming and sharing with us. Oh, nice. Great. I was just about to ask, do you have any URLs for tips and tricks? How about, do you have any, you don't, I hate to put you on the spot. I know that you're sitting in your car. Do you have any URLs for tips and tricks on how to use Kali and some of the things that that Kali makes available too? Oh, right there at the bottom.
Yeah,
never mind.
Here.
You
I
jumped ahead of my thoughts.
It's all right. I closed it out before showing that.
We're still seeing it, so take a screenshot, guys. Richard, I know that you are. I know that you probably would normally be in Discord after this. If you can, I'd love to have you jump in and be a part of the community discussion and be able to share. If not, we totally understand. I hope that everything's going okay with your family.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And Kali being so important, Kali and VirtualBox being so important for what we're doing. I remember the first time that I learned how to hack with somebody else's hacking tools, and having a virtual machine environment where I could set up attack toys and different operating systems with different versions of vulnerabilities and whatnot. That was really huge. Definitely played a big part in my launching of my new career.
And it from an outside perspective, it seems overwhelming. But then once you get in and start working with it and applying the things that you've learned, like, wow, I could have been doing this all along. Like, I remember the joy I had when I got my first shell or got root on a hack the box. It was just a beginner's box, but the fact that I was able to get root, find the things that I've learned, it was like, yes, I can do this. Yes, this is a great feeling. So if you haven't, for individuals that are watching, definitely give this a try. Definitely might like it.
I've been doing this for 15 years, and from my own experience, popping a shell never seems to lose that special feeling.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Anything else you want to share and add? No, this is your last slide, but
No, just I look forward to networking with individuals. So if you want to reach out to me, you feel free to do so on Twitter, and I'll try to hop in on Discord for a little bit. And if any guys have any questions that we weren't able to get to here, and I believe I'm on Discord as Rich 2010. So feel free to ask questions there.
all right. Very good. Any other questions from the audience? So far, we're doing pretty good. All right. You have a wonderful rest of the day, Richard.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.